this morning. I invite you to join me in our opening prayer. We come together this morning in deep gratitude, grateful for our breath, for our own unique heartbeats, for our precious lives, in deep appreciation for the spiritual path that each of us are on and this beautiful community that walks beside us. Grateful for all of the experiences we consider blessings. May we listen to Reverend Lynn's message this morning with open hearts and open minds. May the message of the divine feminine resonate in the most perfect way for each of us, sending a wave of love, prayers, and healing energies to those who are open to receive. I pray these things in humility and faith. Amen. I'd like to welcome Reverend Lynn to the podium.
Thank you, Jim. That was beautiful. I could have gone home after that and been just fine. Thank you. Well, good morning and happy Sunday to everyone. Thank you. I imagine, like me, quite a few of you have altars in your home, maybe in your office, in your car, and these may be of the divine feminine. I have Kuan Yin, I have angels, I have the Corn Maiden in my home. They have guided me for many years. There are so many and beautiful, inspiring examples of the divine feminine. But this, of course, wasn't always so. While I was growing up, it was, of course, most always, while I was growing up, it was most always male energy represented in the church. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. I do not remember going to any church service and listening to a female speak. Women taught Sunday school, played the piano, and sang, and quite beautifully, by the way. Today things are different, and we can thank the divine feminine for making her appearance in a time when this beautiful and nurturing energy is so necessary in our world. Embracing the divine feminine in us all has been a long time coming. According to Deepak Chopra, he writes that the feminine awakening is beyond male-female gender. When we divide all humanity into narrow categories of male and female, we lose the opportunity to access wholeness. So what does the divine feminine add to all life? In one way or another, we all have divine feminine qualities: nurturing, devotional, compassionate, intuitive. The loss of the divine feminine has been devastating. There is an imbalance leaning toward the masculine, and this cannot be sustained. Regardless of our biology, we all have a mix of masculine and feminine energies. Masculine is felt as doing, achieving, molded by logic and reason. The feminine is more intuitive, leaning towards receiving and allowing. Living in a world that values doing and achieving makes it challenging to allow and receive. The divine feminine is the energy that helped create this world. The same energy dwells in every one of us. We are all divine beings of light. Today, divine masculine energy is filled with compassion, honesty, integrity, and patience. Quite the opposite of the toxic, stoic, patriarchal masculine energies of the past. Growing up, I know little girls were expected to be little ladies, very polite. Tea parties, dancing, ballet, and tap. They were expected to behave in a lady-like manner. I enjoyed ballet and I loved tap, but I loved playing baseball or softball. And I got so dirty. I was so dirty that I wasn't allowed to bathe in the tub. I had to go into the laundry room where the wash tubs were. That's dirt. Yeah, well, it's the way it is. And I got in trouble a few times for getting dirty or coming home with bruises because that's not allowed on little girls. I see you nodding your head. It's true. You get in trouble. I also remember that little boys being told not to cry and to act in a manly way. Man up, and don't cry. And how sad is that? One of my boys, when he was maybe 4, we were out shopping. And if you remember the Cabbage Patch dolls, oh, he fell in love with a Cabbage Patch doll. And he took it off the shelf and he hugged it. And I said, oh, no, we're not getting that today. And I put it back on the shelf. And then he took it back and he hugged it and he hugged it. And I looked at his face and I went, oh, his eyes told it all. He needed that. He needed that baby. And he took that baby and he hugged it. He slept with it. He just loved that baby. His father, my ex, was not, sorry. I don't know why that came out. Thank you for the laughter, though. He slept with it for quite a while, but as his father was not happy at all, just not happy at all. No son of mine is going to have a doll. And I don't know how I worked it out with him, but I can tell you calmer minds prevailed. And my son had that doll for as long as he needed that doll. And I'm very pleased that I was okay with that. You have to be firm. The divine feminine may be sweet and gentle, but you need to be firm. So the information about the divine feminine is an amazing, and it includes so many people. Mother Teresa, for example, sweet little nun, not so sure about that. She had so much strength, so much strength. She even stood up to the Pope so she could continue getting the money she needed to feed the poor and give medicine to the homeless and just everywhere in Calcutta that was so devastated. And she went on a world mission to make sure that she could get her calling taken care of. That takes strength. When asked what inspired her to take on this challenge, she replied, I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. That's a quote from the Gospel of Jesus. She was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, but she refused, or declined, maybe that's a nicer word, declined to go to the big, fancy celebratory dinner. She did not want to do that. And she wouldn't accept the cash prize either. It's $192,000. And she asked that I don't know if she asked or instructed firmly that that money be given to feed the hungry in India. She was also awarded the Order of the Smile. This is new to me. I didn't know, but I think everybody that smiles needs to be awarded that award. This is an international award that is given by children to adults that are distinguished in their love, care, and aid for children. Mother Teresa was amazing. She was strong, and I bet a lot tougher than we even know. She said, in this life, we cannot always do great things, but we can do small things with great love. And I think that's very sweet and the gentle side of her. Has anyone here heard of the hugging saint? Her name is Amma. She lives in India and she has hugged over 40 million people. People around the world stand in line for hours, almost full days, just to get maybe a 3-second hug that is so filled with unconditional love that people just kind of melt with it. What an amazing experience. These hugs are given freely, no charge. And Amma was born very poor and has attained through strength and perseverance to work as have a network of volunteers that work in over 48 countries for education, healthcare, gender equality, environmental projects, and supplying food and water to the homeless and the poor around the world. She does all of this while she's chancellor of Amrita University in India. Amma is a very sweet, when you see pictures of her, she's sweet, she's gentle, she's loving, but I do believe she has that good balance of masculine and feminine energy, the love to do something, but the strength to persevere and go forward, even being a woman. So, and she says, the world should know that a life inspired by love and service to humanity is possible. I'm sure that most of you have heard of Muhammad Ali. This larger than life man was a champion boxer, winning many, many awards, for beating people up. This is how I look at boxing. How anybody can hit somebody or be hit, it goes right over my head. So it's, it's not a very feminine energy, I believe. Ali even spent time in prison. His slogan was, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Sounds like a good balance of feminine and masculine energy to me. I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Ali when he invited me to share his table at an ice cream parlor in the Los Angeles airport. I was pregnant again, and ice cream was very good at the time. I don't remember our conversation very much, but this is over 30 years ago, and I still remember the way he made me feel. This big, giant man, so kind, so loving, so gentle. It was amazing. And I cherish that moment because I think he was a very good person. Ali was awarded so many belts and trophies, but he was also awarded many, many numerous humanitarian awards, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Our president gives it, Congress okays it, he gets it. It's the highest honor that any citizen of the United States can ever get from our government because he was a champion of freedom. He said, my greatest privilege was becoming a messenger of peace and love. And this is a special honorific title bestowed by the United Nations to distinguish individuals that help focus worldwide attention to the work of the UN. And there are still numerous charitable institutions that his family continues to head up and to promote for many humanitarian causes. I know you're wondering why I talked about these people, so I'm going to explain that now. I believe that the people I have spoken about truly, truly embrace both the feminine and the masculine energy. And that balance has helped them to accomplish the great things in our world that they have accomplished. They can't do it with half. It needs to be everything. They are earth angels, people that are here and have decided to live to better our world. I know that there are many earth angels in this community and also around the globe. And we do it in all of our own ways. As Mother Teresa said, it's not always the big, it's the loving way. The divine energies of wisdom, love, holiness, beauty, and virtue, blended with the human energies of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, may, just may, bring us to anthropos. And that is a Greek word that means fully human and fully divine. And I believe that's where all of us, where we're all headed, as we raise our vibration, choose to forgive ourselves and others, and work on our own self-mastery. I know I have a lot of work to do within myself, but I believe I will become fully human and even fully divine. Maybe not in this lifetime, but maybe in another lifetime. But I'm working towards it, so it's okay. I truly believe that all of you are on a similar journey as I am in your own way to be truly divine. Love is a fruit in season at all times, within reach to every hand. And that's also from Mother Teresa. I have spoken about the divine feminine, and so here's a little different story I'd like to tell you. And this is way back in the 600s. I think everyone thinks or believes that St. Francis is the patron saint of gardeners, but he is not. He is the patron saint of animals. St. Fiacre is the patron saint of gardeners. He's a little man that carries a shovel. When you see him, that's what he looks like. He was, anyways, Saint start laughing. I'm sorry. Saint Fiacre is the patron saint of the commune, and excuse my French here, of Saint Fiacre, Seine-et-Marne in France. Don't know if that was right, but it's the best I could do. He is the patron to growers of vegetables, medicinal plants, and just plain old simple gardeners like you and I. He lived in the 6th century, and as I said, you'll recognize him because he has a little shovel that he digs. As the story goes, he was a monk and gardener as well as a healer. He would treat people and feed them when they were hungry. Nobody could figure out how he was able to grow so much, but it still was not enough. There was never enough. He didn't have the food and the room for the food and the medicine. Word got around that he was a healer, and boy, that just took off like crazy. So this gardener, he knew he needed more ground, and he went to the bishop, and he requested more land to feed the community and to heal the sick. The bishop made a deal with Fiacre, and he said, I will give you as much land as you can till up with your little stick in one day. In one day. You can have it all in one day. So off he goes back to his little garden and his little huts that he had and his oratorium, which is a chapel. So he marks off the corners of everywhere where he wanted his land to be dug up and wanted it to be. And then he went into the chapel to pray. This chapel was built, he built it himself in honor of Mary, the Divine Mother. As it is told, there is an envious woman who was so jealous that Fiacre was healing and advising people as she used to do that for the community. She hid in the bushes and watched everything he did that day. And so she's hiding and he's digging with his little stick. And she watched everything. By the next morning, St. Fiacre had tilled up all the land he had marked off. And the lady went to the bishop and accused him of being a witch. Black magic, you're a witch. And he had been feeding her and healing her family for a long time. And just the bishop came back and he looked around and he went, well, this isn't witchcraft. This is a miracle, which is how he became St. Fiacre. The bishop took care of it, called it a miracle, told the lady just knock it off. St. Fiacre, on the other hand, was not very happy. He wasn't a saint then, so it was okay. And because of the mean accusations, people were killed for being accused of being a witch back then. So the mean accusations toward him, he banned all women, from his gardens, from his hut, from his chapel, with bodily harm. He threatened them with bodily harm. You walk in here, you're going to get hurt. Only men were allowed to enjoy the beauty and solitude of in St. Fiacre's gardens and huts. It's it's amazing. And one story I read, there's so many different takes on this, but one story I did read was that he created a all men retreat on an island off the French Riviera, somewhere in that area. And again, only men. Nobody had to pay to go, and it was fine. And I don't even know. I looked and looked and looked to try to find out if women were allowed to go today. And I can't find any writings that in 1970 or 60 women were finally allowed to cross that line. But I do know that the woman that wrote part of this and showed me the pictures in on the internet, it was a woman. So if she was walking there and taking pictures of his garden, I'm sure they're allowed now. But to be banned your entire life from going to a healer, that'd be pretty awful. So I think the moral of the story is don't bite the hand that feeds you. So now for a 5-minute meditation, if that's okay.
We're going to meditate on no biting the hand.
No biting, no biting.
She had to ruin it for everybody.
Well, again, it only took, well, I think there was more than just one, but I don't know. The divine meditation, yeah. If you'll join me now in a nice meditation. How'd you do? Now it's time for our offering. And if you would like to take your offering and put it between your hands, place it on your heart. And if you don't have, money is always good, cash is always good, but time, talent, and energy towards here is always welcome also. And so take your money, that cash, what you're putting in, put it in your hands in front of your heart and bless it. Bring that divine golden light right down into your hands. And see that that light goes all around you, all around the room, all around our community, and right back to the source of you where it came from 100 times. And for those of you watching on Facebook, Home Center is on Facebook. PayPal, excuse me, and you can do your donation that way. And now I would like to introduce Reverend Jen. Thank you.
Beautiful message. Thank you so much. I learned so much. I had no idea. That was so great. That was so great. So today or maybe many of you have seen this already. It's been coming around. I've been seeing it on all the medias, all the social medias. But today is May 18th is one of the most powerful manifestation portals. People have been talking about this. So today's the day. So it's the Uranus Kazemi is what it's called. And so this only happens about once in a lifetime. So once, unless you live past 100 years, but 100 every 100 years. And it's happening right in the sign of Taurus. And so this portal is involving the planet Uranus, which some believe is the most powerful planet that we can work with. And in Greek mythology, they even said that it was that planet is what actually created the Earth. So it has life-changing and life-creating power. So the Kazemi means that the sun is conjuncting with Uranus. So their paths are crossing, meaning that the sun is amplifying that planet, that energy. So again, it's happening in the sign of Taurus, which is all about willpower and determination and setting goals and intentions. So this time right now, today is a massive, massive manifestation time, a portal for us. And so if you think that some of those changes that you want in your life are impossible, this is the time to manifest those. So letting go of the old and bringing in the new. And actually, we talk about this a lot too, actually feeling the feelings ahead of the experience, already having those things. Like Jay, our founder, used to talk about, you want a new car with leather seats, like smell the leather of the seats, really use your imagination to manifest. So today is a wonderful day to participate in some sort of a manifestation ritual. So this portal's open. I don't know the timing. We were talking about universal time the other day. I don't even know what that is, but today's the day. So anytime today. All right. Okay, so I'd like to close with a prayer by Lori Sue Brockway, and it's for around the divine feminine. So I invite you to join me in the closing. Divine Mother of all there is, whose essence lies within us all and in all things. Please fill this place with your sacred light and presence. Please protect us and heal us. Please bring us to wholeness and wisdom. Make this a day of fresh starts, new beginnings. Melt all obstacles in our paths, gently, gracefully, lovingly. Reconnect us to our highest selves. Awaken us to what we need to know next. Let our higher selves select and connect with the divine energy that is right for us right now. May we be uplifted and empowered by your love. So be it, and so it is. Amen. It's not beautiful. So we close our broadcast this morning. We're grateful that you joined us. See you next time.